All right, so we're doing this video because we have been asked previously by a few people, actually, including people that we know personally, how it is that we managed to purchase our property out in Idaho. It's 20 acres with big cash for it. You've probably seen it in some of the previous videos, hopefully, and if not, go check it out. A couple of the theories that have come up have been that, hey, we just financed it. We found a bank or somebody to loan us the money. That's not the case. It's not what we did. Again, we paid cash. I had another person that I know personally suggest that a relative had died and left me a huge inheritance, and that's how we managed to do it. Again, not the case. So,
although that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been sweet and helpful, but that's not how we did it. So there's a number of things we did. There's no one simple thing per se. So we'll go over that now.
Make the most of every day. Make the most of what God gave with good, simple living.
Basically, what I always say is have a goal, not a dream. People look at what we're doing or what other homesteaders are doing or what anyone's doing and go, wow, that's my dream come true. Don't have a dream, have a goal. A dream is something that isn't real, right? You wake up from a dream. A goal is something that you work towards, have a plan, work towards the goal.
Yep. Okay, so hypothetically, if there were a simple answer to all this, how do you save money? Stop spending your money! Pretty self-explanatory. I see people every day.
Wait, how much did you save and how?
We managed to save over the course of time, and the time that we've kind of implemented this plan, we've saved $200,000 plus of liquid cash that we've had readily available and accessible to us at any given time.
In about what, 6 or 7 years?
Of 6 or 7 years of real hard core discipline saving, yeah. But really, I've always kind of been a saver forever.
Yeah. I was kind of a spender when you met me.
We're fortunate enough that I work a career obviously in law enforcement. I have been doing so for the last 12, almost 13 years now, and I'm paid pretty well for that. Full disclosure, I have benefits and all that working my full-time law enforcement career, and I make a fairly decent wage doing that, which is obviously helpful with saving money. But regardless, I mean, you can always maximize your saving by spending less and less.
So what we do is we focus one paycheck on bills, and then we focus the second paycheck that comes in every month on saving. So that paycheck is not for spending, it goes into saving. And right now it goes into building the homestead. I quit my job when our first was born. I used to be a teacher, and so having that income would have been nice. However, we felt that it was important that I stay home and raise the kids. And then as they got older, we were going to homeschool. We did not necessarily know we were going to have 4 kids. So the homeschool journey has gotten longer. Me staying home has gotten longer. And so I've learned to get kind of creative at home with revenue sources also.
Yeah, like YouTube and the dozens of dollars that we make on YouTube.
We literally have made dozens of dollars on YouTube.
No, but we've had a number of businesses that she has run from home, a few of them that have been good to us.
Yeah, I think besides just having side hustles, so I've done freelance writing for magazines and newspapers, just different how-to articles. The YouTube is a little bit revenue, sort of. Yeah, dozens of dollars. I've done homemade baby decor. I used to paint like these wooden letters. I did that for a few years. We made hair accessories for a few years, and it sounds kind of goofy and you're only bringing in a couple $100s a month. But if you don't treat the side income as funny money, like a lot of women say, oh, this is my funny money because I made this money. Don't do that. Save it. Put it in an envelope. Every time I would get $20 for a basket of vegetables, like we grow vegetables and we were selling them by the basket for $20. That, you know,
Adds up.
It adds up
Quickly.
Put it in an envelope. Once it hit $1,000, into the bank. put it in an envelope, $1,000 into the bank. If I just treated that like funny money, that money would have just disappeared and I couldn't even tell you what I spent it on.
Or invest it.
Saving money is almost as important as as bringing money in. So my job is really to make sure that we stay on budget, we keep the grocery bill down. I do a lot of couponing, so we haven't bought shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes for years, probably 10 years. We don't buy toiletries because I coupon for those things.
I hear about how much people spend at the grocery store weekly, and when you compare that to what she manages to pull off with her couponing and research and everything, time that goes into that saves us a ton of money.
And it is time. It takes time and it takes a lot of practice. Couponing is definitely a skill, but you can just kind of commit to that. And people say, well, I don't want to coupon because the food's all junk. But I don't really coupon for that much food. It's mostly toiletries.
Yeah.
And when you've got 6 people and kids, squirting a thing of toothpaste in the sink,
goes a long way. I mean, she's come home with our van, the back of our van, just filled with stuff, and I'm like, how much did you spend? And it'll be like in the teens.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
$17 for 98% savings. So, all right. So let's see. Things to avoid would be, I call it micro spending. It's kind of like micro carbs when you're on the keto diet. Micro spending is things like packs of gum, cups of coffee, a burger when you're out, when like people will go grocery shopping and then they'll pick up pizza on the way home.
Just don't spend money where you don't have to. Like I said, I see people walk into work every day with $4, $5, $6, $7 cups of Starbucks coffee. I have my giant drip coffee that is very effective. And
we made the whole
keeps
pot
me wired all day.
for 50 cents.
What else? Cars. So real estate is great as far as spending money because it's an investment. Cars depreciate instantaneously, immediately upon purchase. We have driven absolute pieces of crap. I was ridiculed endlessly, mercilessly by a lot of my coworkers for driving a horrible, awful 1992 Mitsubishi Mighty Max pickup truck, 2-wheel drive, regular cab. You could fit 2 people in it. It was horrible.
You even got pulled over multiple times.
I got pulled over, ironically enough, a number of times. But the thing was great. It was super reliable. It got me to and from work, which is what I needed it to do. I was able to get small projects done around our property because it had a bed. The thing worked great. I paid $900 for it, and I drove it for 10 years. That meant no car payment, really cheap insurance. And then our family vehicle in that same period of time was a 1998 Ford Explorer that we bought used with really low mileage on it for $8,100. Again, money well spent. We drove it for, again, 10 years. Ended up buying an aftermarket 3rd row seat once we had 4 kids because we were still driving it with 4 kids, even though it was never intended for that. So we pushed things to the max as far as that goes until we eventually made the decision and had the cash once again to purchase some new vehicles. So I think for me, the way I think of it is anything that I can take control over and get done myself, regardless of how simple it is, like my haircuts. I cut my own hair,
and the boys'
and both my son's hair every couple weeks, and that saves us, I don't know how much money, probably like $60 every couple weeks. Well, yeah, $100 a month, maybe. That's $1,200 a year. We don't have cable TV.
No.
Don't need it. We got endless things to keep us busy around here, even entertainment wise.
I literally just bought my first phone. Every phone that I got before last month was a free phone.
I've never owned a smartphone. I'm in my mid-30s. Smartphones have been around for 12 years, and I've never owned one.
I just got one.
So we've had like really crappy flip phones in the past, or we've taken like the very cheapest bottom of the line phone that we could get it at a given time when we decided to get a new phone. What else? I mean, you name it. If I can save $1 anywhere, I'll do it. Yeah, there's never been a period of time where I feel like we've ever missed out on anything. Like we don't take big family vacations. We'll take a road trip. Or do a staycation somewhere nearby that's cheap. Or now with the property, we'll go out to the property and we'll spend a week there, and on top of getting projects done, we'll go out and have fun, and we'll do things like go hiking rather than spending money.
Rather than going to a movie and spending $70.
Yeah. and we don't eat out at restaurants. Very rarely do we ever eat out at restaurants because again, it's expensive. We're a family of 6. It costs a lot of money to
and it's really
feed
not
everybody.
that good if you're being
It's
honest.
really not. Yeah, I'd much rather have a homemade meal myself.
Yeah, so we budget a lot. Food is a big expense, I think, for a lot of families, and so I budget meals. Like, so I'll think for a dinner, $10 for a dinner for 6 people. There's no way, unless you're eating like McDonald's burgers, that you can feed a family of 6 any night of the week for $10. But I mean, we're eating really good food, and then in the summertime, we're almost eating for free because we do yard meals. And we're eating like kings for yard meals.
Yeah, meat chickens, meat rabbits, holds us over for a long period of time. We do it annually. And then with the gardening, not only do we make money on everything that we sell from our garden, it keeps us fed throughout most of the spring, summer, and early fall.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then Melissa does all her canning in the fall, and that holds us over through much of the winter as well. So
yeah, and I think with things like canning, like make sure that you don't go overboard with like some of the really fancy fun things, because you're going to end up spending a lot of money on canning instead of saving money. Think of the things that you can buy from the store that you can can yourself that are going to actually save you money, like things like salsa, strawberry jam. Think about what your family can use that you can can.
Yeah, and it's not a luxurious lifestyle whatsoever, but we're not those kind of people. We're not fancy folks at all. And not only is it not luxurious, but it's for me, and I'm sure for Melissa and everybody else in our family, the kids also, it's far more fulfilling to do things yourself, to make things yourself, and in the end come out ahead, both financially and again, just as far as your sense of personal satisfaction with getting things done and making positive strides toward achieving that goal. For that, this is the second home that we've owned. Prior to this, we lived in a smaller, much more modest house that we purchased. I mean, we were young. I was 23. I think you were 24 at the time when we bought our first house. And it was just a very simple entry-level home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. We held on to that over time, and when the market took a dump on us in 07 or 08, whenever it was, when the housing market kind of went to crap, we decided to, rather than sell and potentially take a loss, we converted that home into a rental that ended up making us money every month. Our mortgage payment was, I forget what was it?
Our mortgage payment was $1,250, and then we rented it out for $1,450 the first
initially
year, and
then
then
we bumped that up to where we were making $400 a month.
Yeah, $1,750 eventually on it.
Yeah,
and then we sold it and made $75,000 on it, which helped us a lot towards getting geared up for Idaho.
So kind of getting in the weeds, but again, real estate was huge for us when we started really young, which was good.
Yeah, and I think kind of the key with real estate is buy low, obviously. So we saw that the market had dumped, and we thought this is a great time to get into a new home, even though we were upside down in a home, turn that into a rental, get into a new home that was going to build a bunch of equity and fuel our dream, which is eventually the equity in this property is going to build our house in Idaho.
Yeah, we've done very well as far as the equity goes. And when we purchased this, it was actually a short sale. So not only was the market at the bottom, I mean, there was a huge downturn, obviously everyone was affected by that, but we bought at the very, very bottom of the market with a really low interest rate, and it was a short sale on top of that. So we saved ourselves a ton of money, and since have made hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity that we're gonna try to cash out one day and use that money for our property in Idaho.
As soon as we moved into this house, we put 10% down. We were pretty much cash broke, besides like a few mortgage payments in the bank. We instantly said, let's start saving for Idaho. Let's start saving for the dream. And after about 4 years of saving, we started looking at property, but we didn't buy until 6 years of saving, when we had the amount of money for the piece of property that we wanted. Because basically what we could afford at 4 years wasn't the forever property. It wasn't what we wanted. And so even though we don't spend money on little things, we do believe in spending money on something that can't be changed after the fact. Like, we wanted the property that we wanted, and we were willing to save for a little bit longer and be a little bit more patient for that. Idaho. We knew we wanted to be in Idaho. We knew we wanted to pay cash, and we knew we wanted to build using cash. So every single project that you're going to see this summer, and any project that we've done in the past, which has been our driveway and our well so far, and we're going to be putting in our foundation and our septic, hopefully, if contractors come through this summer, those are all cash projects. And then, of course, buying the land was cash. Yeah, and I can't think of any vacation or any purses or fancy cars or anything that is worth more than when we stand out on that property with that view. Like, there's just nothing that we could have bought in the past that would justify erasing that. And we're setting something up for our children too. And something that I see a lot of people doing is just selling everything, moving off the grid, and just jumping in. And I absolutely applaud those people. They are so brave, but that's not us. We can't do that. I mean, not only do we have 4 kids, but it's just not our personality to just, plug our nose and jump in because.
Yeah, no, hey, credit to those folks. I just couldn't do it.
I think
that person.
Yeah, and I think the majority of people can't do it. And I think that's why a lot of people just watch the whole homesteading journey and say, I wish I could do that. That's really cool. Oh, I wish, one day, or that's my dream. But they never do it because they don't know the realistic path for them, the safe path for them to actually make that happen. And I think for a lot of people, just quitting your job and selling everything you own and moving into a little off-grid cabin with your family and crossing your fingers and hoping it goes okay, it's just not really reality for most people's personalities. So we're just going to show what kind of a safer path, how we did it.
If we're just the 2 of us, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'll live in a tent. I don't care. But with the kids, it's kind of hard.
It's hard with the kids because you do feel.
I feel, like I want to provide them with the best possible life.
Yeah. Saving money with kids.
Kids don't cost as much as everyone makes them out to.
No. What is
not even close. I hate hearing the statistics that people throw out, like, oh, you need to save
$1 million a kid,
$4.5 million to send your kid to college in the year 20 whatever. It's beyond asinine. It's ridiculous. Come on, let's be real here for a second.
Mm-hmm. Nobody paid for my college.
No, it's crazy. And even just day to day, they don't cost much.
Right. So when we kind of announced we were having a 3rd or 4th baby, people were like, oh, that's another $1 million. And I think, was it Times Magazine that said it wasn't like $1.2 million to raise a kid from birth to 18?
I don't know who it was, but that person's stupid.
I'm just wondering what they're buying their kids. Because ways to save money with kids is, 1, buy secondhand clothing. There are secondhand stores all over the place, consignment stores. So I kind of bought the first bit of clothing, and then every time they grow out of it, I put it in the bag, I consign it. I have this whole running tab with a consignment store. So whenever they need shoes, coats, snowsuits, jeans, flannels, whatever, you name it. I mean, they've got Carhartt, all kinds of really nice brands. We can just go to the store. I have this tab. It's kind of like free shopping. And then when they grow out of that, I consign that. And then I've got another tab to buy the next size up. So that's how we've done clothing, especially jeans, coats, and shoes and boots. Mm-hmm. Those are really expensive if you're, going into the mall and buying these things.
Yeah, we have 4 kids, so there's a lot of hand-me-downs as well.
Mm-hmm. But boys, if anyone that has boys, you know that you can never hand down pants because they destroy pants. They destroy pants.
That's why I don't wear any.
He's literally not wearing pants right now. Anyway.
What else? Activities. Activities for kids. I know of people who stick their kids in like 3 or 4 extracurricular. Am I saying that right? Extracurricular activities. Soccer, taekwondo, music lessons. We do all of those, but we tell each individual kid that they get to pick one thing at a given time. I'm stuttering a lot.
And I think that that's good for life training skills too, because you shouldn't just do everything in life, right? You should pick one thing and you should be excellent at it. Pick something your kid's good at, have them pick one thing they love, nurture that, spend your resources and your money on that. So
not only is that a lot of money, that's a lot of stress and time as well.
Yeah, it overbooks the kids, it overbooks the family, it destroys the family unit. No one's sitting down for dinner. Your kids are stressed out, they're exhausted. I don't understand this overscheduling of kids.
So again, that's money not being spent wisely, in my opinion.
Yeah, boredom breeds creativity. Let your kids be a little bored, it's good for them.
It's good parenting advice.
Yeah, let your kids be bored.
Make sure your kids are bored.
Yeah.
So in summary, save your money. Don't spend it where you don't need to. If there's something you can do yourself, do it. Make some sacrifices over the time. If you really have a goal set in mind, don't Don't let the noise and the outsiders and others tell you what it is that you should or you shouldn't be doing, or what you should or shouldn't be spending money on. Because if you are dead set on achieving a goal, focus on that. Ignore everybody else. Do what needs doing.
Yeah. Avoid the micro spending, the little things.
And even on a modest, humble income, if you're single income on a family of 6, you can achieve great things over time. You just gotta be a little patient and stay disciplined.
Yeah. So I'm 36. He's 35, about to be 36. I would love to be debt free by 40. Like I've always said that. So we'll see if that comes true or not.
We could do it right now. If we wanted to sell the house we're currently in, we'd walk with what would we walk with? $350,000.
Yeah.
Conservatively, $350K. Our property and everything that's been done thus far in Idaho is all paid for cash, so we don't owe anything on that. We could take that $350,000 theoretically and get our house built comfortably in that budget. The only issue is that we wouldn't have any income at this point. We haven't established anything as far as income out in Idaho. And we wouldn't have any kind of benefits or anything like that, which we have right now, and that's very comforting. And I'm very grateful for my job, but I would love to be able to pull the plug at any given day and say, forget this, I'm going to live out the rest of my life happily doing the things that I love and I've had to put off for years. Yep. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let us know. Keep watching our videos, please. Appreciate it.
We need
YouTube. We're trying to turn YouTube into a side hustle so we can save some additional money. So
yeah,
do us a favor.
Yeah, I mean, we're just basically trying to show how we realistically do this, how we're paying for this stuff with cash. And I mean, we didn't inherit any money. We didn't win the lottery. We're not financial experts by any means. We're just
common sense.
It's just common sense. Don't spend your money, save your money, find ways to save, find ways to make side income. And anybody can, I mean, it's amazing what you can save.
And wear corny t-shirts that your wife purchases and makes you wear off Amazon.
So I would also like to talk about this when it comes to gifts.
You know what? I'm done.
He's gonna go put some pants on. When it comes to gifts, like for Christmas, we do a $50 budget. This is what I came up with. I didn't even spend the $50. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you want to see more of our build off-grid, all cash, debt-free, go ahead and hit the subscribe and the like button, and we'll keep the videos coming. Thanks so much, guys.